counter. Kunal?
It looks attractive on the charts, trading above its 200 DMA. The stock is, taking good support at every, I would say, marginal corrections. The last time the stock took support was and bounced back was from 2200 levels, 2190 to precise, and now the stock is 100 rupees higher from those levels. So we can expect that if this 2190 support holds, Deepak Nitrite can come back towards its previous high. 2400 I think is the previous swing high for Deepak Nitrite. So if it's a very short term query, then I believe 2400 could be the first set of target which you can have, and 2190 approximately could be a trailing stop loss.
So that's the first query. The next one is coming from Danny. The view on mid-cap IT companies, the likes of Mindtree, LTI. Should one accumulate over a period of 1 to 2 years? Rajesh, any view? If yes, or start to accumulate now?
See, rather than going for mid-cap IT, I would say go for large-cap IT names, because after this kind of correction which we have witnessed in the recent past, some of the names have become quite attractive. For example, Infosys at these prices is very attractive for a medium to long-term view. But still, somebody wants go for medium-term mid-cap. I think Intellect Design would be a better play.
This is for you, Kunal, and this one is coming in from Sushila from Bellary on IEX. Has some shares purchased at 248 rupees per share. Wants a target for the next 1 year. How is IEX looking on the chart, Kunal, and what sort of a target should Sushila keep in mind?
See, my only concern with the charts for IEX is that the stock may get into a further time-wise correction. Now, this is the fourth or the fifth month, if I'm not wrong, where the stock has gone into a corrective wave from 300 odd levels. The stock has come back towards 200, 220, where it's trading approximately. So my sense is that the correction could probably last for maybe another couple of months, if not more. I think in that correction, you can probably take advantage if the stock, corrects and comes back towards 200 levels. So I would suggest that if you've bought at levels of 240 odd, look to average, your holdings on IEX at 200 levels. Bring your cost price to 220 or slightly below than that, and then wait out for the next 1 year kind of a time frame. And I think in that time frame you can look out for maybe targets of at least 250 to 260 on IEX.
Kunal, next, again, it's a technical view that has been asked. Santosh has asked, please provide short-term and long-term view on KPIT Technologies. I think they also declare their numbers today, so it could be a stock in focus. Kunal, will it be right to give you a view or after the results?
Of course, after the results, it makes a lot of sense, but then purely on charts, Pankaj, I believe KPIT Tech is getting into a support territory. So I think 500 approximately is a good support point for KPIT Tech. It also, I think, coincides with just slightly above the 200-day moving average level for KPIT, and we've seen this phenomena for many of these mid-cap IT names where after this 2 months, 3 months of price correction, these stocks have managed to halt their correction closer to the 200-day moving average. So in case if the results disappoint and the stock gets into a corrective phase, and I think the stock comes, say, below the 500 mark, that could be a good level to enter.
So next query that I have is from Sunil from Muscat, and he wants advice on Canfin Homes. Has about 2,000 shares purchased below the price of 100 rupees per share, and it's been more than 10 years that he's holding on to this counter. So Rajesh, he wants to know whether he should now look to book profit or hold on to it. He's saying he can hold on for the next 3 years as well, if need be.
See, since he's already ready for holding for 3 years, I believe that he doesn't require any funds. So in that case, I would say continue with the stock. It's looking very good on numbers. The numbers have been quite good. Prospects looks good. And even if somebody has got fund, even one can add to this.
Right. The next query that I have is coming in from Sarvana Kumar, and he's saying that he's bought Tirumala Chemicals at a price of about 200 rupees per share, but he wants to know whether he can continue to hold on to this one for the longer term. Do you track this one, Rajesh, Tirumala Chemicals, and how does it look to you for the longer term?
Yes, of course. For long term, it's a very good stock. Even we have come out with a buy recommendation of this in the last fortnight or so. I think it's for a long-term horizon, the kind of price shortage it's seeing on its products. I think one can definitely accumulate this stock at these levels also.
Right. Next one is coming in from Shiv. Kunal, you can take this one. View on Varun Beverages for long term. If it's positive, any entry levels that you suggest?
So, I'm not sure whether it's a good longer term play, but I think at current levels, it could be a good short term play. The stock has just about recently broken out of its triangular pattern. 985,000 was the previous major resistance for Varun Beverages, and the stock has managed to cross about those levels quite convincingly. So, I would say keeping that as a stop loss, you can look out for building up some short term trades because of the fact that the stock is into short term momentum.
Query that I have, actually, the viewer has not put his name, so I request to all the viewers, do mention your name when you send us your query. Otherwise, it will be difficult for us to ask on your behalf. So the query that I have right now is from Bharat. Bharat is saying that he's a long-term investor and he's planning to invest in tin plate for a long time, but he does not know whether it is the right time to enter tin plate, and if not, then which is the right price that he should look at, Kunal? Or should he look to should he look to actually avoid it? I beg your pardon, avoid the stock?
No, I think you can look to hold the stock or even buy the stock. I think at current levels, even though the stock is perched at a multi-month, multi-year high for itself, I still believe that the prospects for tin plate over the longer term looks very attractive, even going forward from here. Looking at the price trajectory, the V-shaped recovery, the correction which has already been completed for tin plate in the past few months, and I think the consistency of the stock to make a new high, I think all of those points are very positive for the stock. So I would suggest that if you have a longer term query, longer term kind of a time frame, you should look to buy.
All right, let's take the next query as well. It's coming in from Achal Jain. She's saying, good morning, Cheryl. Kindly let me know Kunal's view on Nifty and Bank Nifty for this week expiry. So Kunal, it's specifically coming for you.
So I think it's an interesting query because I think we are at a juncture where the Nifty on the daily charts. In fact, I was looking at the candlestick pattern and we found what we typically call it as a rare island pattern on the Nifty. So 2 days back, when the markets opened with a gap down, that was the first gap down which was created yesterday. We managed to see another gap down, and today we've seen a gap up. Now the combinations of these gap downs and gap ups are actually forming what we typically call it as an island pattern. The same is the patterns for Bank Nifty as well. But when we see these island patterns, it indicates a strong reversal probability. So in this case, the reversal should be on the upside for the market. So I believe for the prospects for Nifty and Bank Nifty, to put it in very simple words, I believe we should be looking up for much stronger uptick on the Nifty over the very near term. And these island patterns can probably help the Nifty even scale past about 17,500, 550 over the very next couple of days as well.
This one is coming in from Lakshman from Denmark, and he wants a view on latent view. He's saying that he has 375 shares purchased at 550 rupees per share. He's saying that he can hold them for a year, but he wants to know if there will be any upside in the stock, but he wants to know on fundamental basis. What's your take on this one, Rajesh? Latent view of fairly recently listed counter. What's your take on this one?
I think one should avoid this stock. If somebody is holding, one should try to get out of the stocks and every upside, because as such, after the recent listing, it has not performed as well. The numbers are not that exciting. And even in these prices, the valuation looks fresh. It's better to get out.
Right. Let's take our next view as well. And that's coming on, I think, Cipla. Mr. Bhandari is asking, hi Kunal, good morning. Bought Cipla at 1040 for 2-3 months. Should I hold on, sell, or average at these levels?
Continue to hold on. I understand that the pharma stocks are not performing as strongly because I believe that we are into a point where the market sentiment is more strong in terms of taking more risks. So, and I think that's where you see the banking and the auto stocks outperforming as compared to the pharma stocks. I believe Cipla can see some good support at current levels. It's trading also at the 200-day moving average, or it's retested the 200-day moving average as well. So that could also play a slight advantage towards Cipla. I would suggest a hold.
Is from Subramanian, and he's saying that he's bought SAIL about 1,000 shares at the price of 108 rupees per share. Wants to know whether he should look to average at current levels or should he look to exit the stock altogether. He's looking for a view for a period of 6 months to 1 year. Kunal?
On to SAIL now. I think 100, 115 has been a grinding range for SAIL over the very recent past, even though the stock is now sub 100 levels. But I believe that the stock has this tendency of trying to dilly-dally into this range. Maybe over the next 1 to 2 years, I believe is where the real potential could get unleashed for many of these metal stocks as well. I would suggest to hold on and probably look to average if in case the stock comes back, say closer to 88 or 90 odd levels.
Okay. The next is a call option query on Bajaj Finserv, which is coming from Luke. Maybe Rajesh, if you could help him. Bajaj Finserv call option, strike price 15,500, bought at 144. Should I hold, exit? What should be the target for Bajaj Finserv?
See, Pankaj, since I do fundamentals, I would not be in a position to speak on options. But as far as fundamentals are concerned, we are very bullish on this. And for our longer term horizon, depending on their insurance business and their home finance business, even they have applied for AMC, we are giving a buy call on this.
Would you want to take that one then instead?
So I would be of the belief that I think you can hold on to this option. Today is the day where you've seen the first time round of a turnaround for a stock like Bajaj Finserv as well. So I think in that aspect, there could be a possibility that even if the stock climbs up another few percentage points, 2-3 percentage points over the next couple of days, you can reap in some good profits over here.
This one is from Srinath from Pune, saying that he's bought 2,000 shares of Voltas at a price of 1,315 rupees per share. Wants to know for how long should he look to hold on to this counter, and also is it worth holding on to? What's your take, Kunal?
Well, yes, I think it makes sense to hold on to Voltas. It's a good long-term stock, has done reasonably well over the last 5 years, 7 years, 10 years kind of a period for itself. So my sense is that the longer you hold, the stronger could be the gains for Voltas. And I think as it is, the stock is still into a short-term consolidation. So short-term charts may not be that zippy for Voltas, but I think the long-term prospects are definitely very attractive.
Right. This next query that I have is from Mr. Singh. Mr. Singh is a senior citizen and he's writing to us from Pune, and he wants to know what could be a good entry level for Piramal Enterprises. Rajesh, I'll come to you on this one. Piramal Enterprises, do you think, does it make sense to enter right now, or should Mr. Singh look to wait for some more time? Also, how is the prospect looking for Piramal Enterprises?
I think one should avoid Piramal Enterprises because the numbers are not that exciting. It has not done anything on the market also. It's better to switch to some other NBFCs, maybe a Poonawalla Fincorp or Bajaj Finserv, which we're talking sometimes back, would be a better choice to be in.
It's coming in from Jagadish, and he's asking whether he can buy NTPC May futures at current price. Kunal?
I think the markets are getting to a phase where it's possible that many of these PSU stocks and low beta names, they can stand to underperform at least for maybe a week or two odd. So in that aspect, I would suggest to avoid.
All right, this one is coming from Shankar from Chennai, and he's saying that he has 500 shares of Subex, which he's purchased at 55 rupees per share. He's saying that he is looking at a 7-year horizon. Rajesh, do you think it makes sense to hold on to Subex for that long?
Quarter to quarter numbers with the company is going to report. Taking a call on a 7-year horizon for a mid-cap stock at this point of time would be too exaggerating. At this point of time, yes, one can continue to hold, but keep a track on the numbers. If the key stock keeps, the company keeps performing, you can carry on.
All right, the next one is coming in from Abhijit. He says, I'm holding HDFC Group, that is Bank, AMC Limited, and it's consists around 40% of my portfolio. Currently, I am sitting on losses of 4 to 5%. Should I hold, average, book losses in the near term? Rajesh, you can take this one.
Yeah. Since the merger has already been announced for HDFC Twins, I think it would take a long time, very long time, to anything to happen to in these kind of in these two stocks basically because there are a lot of issues, there are a lot of approvals to come, there may be CCI problems going forward. So nothing is going to perform in the medium term, but for longer term horizon, yes, all the stocks are fundamentally very sound. If somebody wants to continue to hold for maybe a period of 18 to 24 months, he may come back to profit. But for a medium term to short term horizon, I think there is nothing much to look into these stocks. A ICICI Bank or a Kotak Bank would be a better choice.
Coming from Ashok, and he's saying that he has Philip Carbon that he's bought at the price of 240 rupees per share, about 200 shares that he has. Kunal, he wants to know what should he do now with the stock.
Suggest to avoid or probably look at selling the stock or exiting the stock at every rally.
That's the view coming in on Philip Carbon Black. Moving on, the next query that I have is from Harry, and he's writing to us from Chandigarh, and he's asking about GMR Infra. He's bought about 1,000 shares at a price of 37.5 rupees per share. He's saying, how and when can I expect profits? You want to take this one, Kunal, and kind of decipher this for him?
Well, it's very difficult because the stock has remained to be a good promising stock, but it's never been a consistent performer. You look at the last 4 years of chart patterns, and the stock has gone through a very steady, slow, gradual uptrend, but no major major kind of a move which takes the stock above its life highs or multi-year highs for itself. So I think with that kind of a backdrop, I would suggest that maybe it makes sense to switch to some other sector. If you're looking at a mid-cap name, and I think because the auto stocks are into from current levels, I think the stock is priced at 115, 16 levels for itself. So a better alternative, of course, not from the same sector, but from the mid-cap arena would be Jamna Auto.
This one is from Sabyasachi from Kolkata, and he's talking about ICICI Bank, 500 shares purchased at 223 rupees per share. Should I book partial profit and invest the proceeds for a new stock, or keep holding on to ICICI Bank? He's saying he's in a huge dilemma when it comes to that. What's your take on this one? Rajesh, what should he do?
I would say continue with the stock. If you don't have requirement of fund, no need of switching to any other stock. The numbers have been pretty good. 59% jump on bottom line. Asset quality has improved. Things are doing well. I think one can continue to hold on. Any dip should be taken as an opportunity to add.
This is a query that I have got from a viewer who's not mentioned the name. Please do mention your names. On Aarti Drugs, 100 shares purchased at a price of 606 rupees per share. Wants to know, makes sense to hold on to for the longer term, or go ahead and sell this counter. What's your take, Rajesh, on Aarti Drugs?
Definitely, it's a hold. The numbers have been quite good. The company is doing very well. It is just because of the pharma pack seeing some kind of consolidation. I think the stock is not performing, but for a longer term horizon, it's a good hold.
And she's asking a query with a 1-year time frame, wants to know about GMDC or Borosil, which one makes sense for better returns over the next 1 year, Kunal, and also wants to know what's the entry price that Aarti can look at for either of the counters that you suggest.
Active GMDC, I think today just came out with its results, I think yesterday, and the price reaction has been seen. My sense is that possibly post the results you might see some profit booking coming back into this name. Borosil, I think that stock looks attractive. It's perched at a fresh swing high for itself. So my sense is that if the stock corrects and say comes back to its 50-day moving average, which should be closer to 600 odd levels, that could be a good entry point for Borosil as well.
This one is coming from Saumitra Joshi, and he wants a fundamental view on Tattva Chintan. He wants to know at what levels can he look to accumulate. Rajesh, Tattva Chintan definitely under immense pressure in today's trading session post is dismal earnings. What's your take on this one? How does this one look to you?
You said it right, Cheryl. The earnings were very dismal. So I don't think in the near future also there is any scope to give good numbers. It's better to avoid this stock.
Moving on, this one is coming from Ronak, and he's saying he has 50 shares of IRCTC, purchased at 1,000 rupees per share. He wants to know what to do with this one because he's saying that he's currently stuck with this counter. What's your take, Kunal?
It's a matter of time that IRCTC is well would get into a rally mode. More importantly, many of the the railway stocks, they have started to fire up over the last 1 month. Many of these stocks are at 52-week highs. Some of them are even at 2-year, 3-year highs for themselves. So good time, I believe, where you can look to hold on, maybe possibly even add stocks like IRCTC.
Right. This next one that I have is from N. Chandrasekharan, writing to us from Chennai. He wants to add 2 stocks, auto stocks in his portfolio. He's saying between Ashok Leyland and Mahindra & Mahindra, which one can he go for? He wants an entry level and he's looking to hold for the next 1 to 2 years. No doubt, Kunal, we did speak about auto sector at length at the start of the show. But between Ashok Leyland and Mahindra & Mahindra, which one do you think makes sense to invest in right now?
Well, for investment, it would be, of course, Mahindra & Mahindra. That makes a lot of sense, even though the stock is perched at a fresh or close to its fresh multi-month high. So that looks very attractive. But from a trading bet, I would suggest that rather than Ashok Leyland, you can look at maybe something like a Bajaj Auto at current levels for an upside of at least 4 to 5% from a short-term play.
Right, next one again is coming from Kunal, and the question is that I think it's coming from Cheryl, what to do is for short-term target for Tata Chemical holding from the levels, they are holding Tata Chemical from the levels of 530. I think it's 900 now.
I think Tata Chemicals is at 900 plus. Again, very interesting chart, good setup for the stock. I think at current levels of 950, 55 for Tata Chemicals, I would just say that you can continue to hold on for levels of 1000 plus.
All right. On that note, we're taking a break. We're done with our segments on queries. Stay tuned. We'll come back. Lots more lined up. We'll tell you some stocks that are in action on the other side.
Ebix Cash हर खुशी के लिए काफी है।